Hello, everybody. This is Dren608 Plays. I'm Dren608. I'm going to be starting up Milestone 6 playthrough of Xenonauts 2, which is in early release. I'm going to start it up. I'm going to do a new game. I'm going to do it on Soldier, just as if you had bought it and you had no idea what you're getting into. So I'm going to do it on this, and I want to show you the new tutorial as well. So we're going to go ahead and begin the campaign at tutorial, and you get to see some of the, there's an extra step in the tutorial now so that you get to see how that all works, okay? So we're going to do this, and this will be basically a playthrough as if you didn't really understand what the game was. So I'll be explaining things as I go in. Our game's going to be called Jade Flare. If you want to, you can actually edit that and change the name, which is kind of neat. But we're going to let that go. They don't have the... I don't see the thingamajig. We used to be able to pull in a character that we've created. But we'll just go ahead and do it without. And here we go.
The year is 2009. The world teeters on the brink of nuclear war. Tensions between capitalist and communist nations are at boiling point. Every opportunity for peace has failed, as if an invisible hand inexorably steers humanity towards annihilation. We Xenonauts know the truth. The dark forces poisoning our politics are not human in origin.
I imagine this voice is her.
And we must protect our planet against this extraterrestrial threat however we can. After years spent gathering information on an enemy that few believe exist, we are finally ready to strike back. The war for our future begins now.
So this is a reimagining of the original Xenonauts. It's not like a part 2. This is a similar situation, but reimagining that original game into something a little bit more involved, uplifted. The original Xenonauts, you couldn't rotate the map, which you can do in here. And basically, they're just really improving on the original Xenonauts. So if you played the original Xenonauts, this one will actually be a better gameplay situation. And if you haven't played any of the Xenonauts or the XCOM games, this will be a real hoot for you. It is a tactical combat game with some real-time elements in it, which you'll see as we go along. And I load my stuff from a relatively slow hard drive because it has a huge amount of space and I can store everything on it. And here we go. Xenonauts 2, you control a secret organization attempting to protect the world from alien invasion. This short tutorial will explain the basic controls and the events leading up to the start of the campaign. So we're just going to go through the tutorial for you. Features nested tooltips that allow players to access further information where desired. Anywhere that you see a text link, simply hover over the link to open the additional tip. See a little circle there? Nested tooltips can themselves contain links which spawn further nested tooltips. However, as tooltips disappear when you move your mouse, you must lock them. So lock this by doing this. And then we go to proceed. They do have really nice tooltips. Now this is where I'm advocating for it, but I'm probably never going to get it. This is where they only have 2 people that talk. It's the ops officer, the lady that kind of, I think, did the intro. I imagine that she's the one doing the intro. It's her voice and this guy's voice, the chief scientist. So if you had him as well, they don't have a lot of lines, but they could, take the game up just a little bit just by having this guy doing when he has these lines, doing these talks, and her when she does her talks. So they only have a few lines throughout the entire game, and it would be really nice if they were actually voiced. But I don't think I'll ever get my way there, so. Tracking any alien videos without our range, okay. God? Wasn't exactly easy to borrow all the things you wanted. What happens now? We wait. An alien craft should pass in the next few days. At that point, the general takes over. Assuming he's returned from his expedition. Don't worry, he'll be back in a few days. Until then, the commander should be perfectly capable of filling in. I.e. you. You're the commander. Do a circle around your base indicates the radar range of that facility. UFOs flying into this area will be detected and can then be attacked using interceptor craft. And then they tell you about the game speed. They want you to really speed it up here. Okay. And then they tell you about the anomalies. These are raising up your doomsday counter down here. And then we have a UFO, small. My radar has detected a UFO, shooting it down will prevent it from causing panic in the local region, and may spawn a UFO crash site tactical mission that allows you to recover valuable alien technology. Click on the launch interceptors buttons to go. And we don't have anything special on our interceptors, and that's when they tell us just to go ahead and launch. You can put up to three interceptors in a flight. And we catch up there, and then they're going to reach the UFO and are ready to initiate air combat. This is a very poor tutorial on how to do this, but we will follow their instructions. So we click on Commence Attack. And engage in range with the extraterrestrial craft commander. Putting it up on the big screen. How do we think this is going to play out? Unknown. We have no data on the capabilities of the alien craft or what weaponry they may carry. I suppose there's only one way to find out. Let's start by attacking with missiles. Air combat, where Xenonaut interceptor aircraft attempt to shoot down alien UFOs. Maximum 3 combatants can be present on each side. 2 units are participating in this battle. You can select an aircraft either by clicking on them directly or... Oh, wow. I wish I could... I need to turn down the sound. Okay. You can select an aircraft either by clicking on them directly or by clicking on their information panel on the right of the screen. Angel 2 directly to select it. You can also press 2 or click Angel 2's information panel on the right. We'll click Angel 2's information. We are currently in the deployment phase of the combat begins. During this phase, you can freely reposition your aircraft within the green deployment zone. Left click or right click to chosen spot for reposition aircraft to that location. Right click ignores combatants, allowing you to set move nodes under other units. Interceptors are currently both flying intercept paths towards the UFO. However, we should order the second interceptor maneuver behind the UFO instead. Click the highlighted area behind the UFO to set a movement waypoint. We'll intelligently control their speed based on the situation, but you can manually set the speed by using the throttle slider on the right. To achieve maximum speed, you will need to engage afterburners. However, aircraft using afterburners cannot fire their weapons. Click the afterburner toggle to press F to engage the afterburners. Once you are happy with your deployment, you can begin the battle. Click the normal speed, time control at the top of the screen or press space. Now, normally I wouldn't do that. Normally I would move this guy, like over here, to force the scout to choose one ship or the other. And then the ship that he chooses, you have turn away so it chases him, and then you have the other one sneak up behind it. But if they don't let me do that, they're going to get an airplane shot. Missiles flew straight past. What happened? They appear incapable of locking onto the UFO. It has no radar signature and is emitting minimal heat. Better close the distance. We'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. Shifter has just entered the fire arc of an enemy weapon and is about to be attacked. All weapons except missiles display their fire arcs on the battlefield. To view the fire arc of a missile, you can hover over the weapon in the info panel on the right. Weapons can be disabled and enabled by clicking their title in the aircraft information panel. Disabling weapons can be used in some situations, useful in some situations. For example, if you do not wish to fire your missiles at the current target. Okay. Enemy weapons will only cause damage if the projectiles hit your interceptor. You can evade some projectiles simply by changing course, but others will require use of evasive roll ability. Evasive roll orders your aircraft to perform a barrel roll, allowing it to avoid incoming damage without changing orientation. However, units cannot attack when performing an evasive roll. Click the evasive roll left button. That's this button. Click on that. One of your aircraft reached 0 health and has been found forced to perform an emergency disengage. Although it has not been permanently destroyed, it will require an overhaul before it can fly again. It will therefore take much longer to repair than an aircraft that finishes the battle with health remaining. The remaining interceptor has managed to maneuver into an advantageous position. Click on the UFO to set it as a target for your interceptor. Now attempt to tail the UFO and attack it from behind. As it is more agile than the UFO, it can stay clear of the alien weapons. Click the afterburner toggle to disable it. Remember, weapons cannot be fired when using afterburners. So turn off. And the missiles actually hit this time. Nice job, commanders. Press space to continue. Indeed. We must locate and recover the downed alien vessel as soon as possible. In the meantime, I will see what I can learn from the telemetry. May be able to enhance the survivability of our interceptors now that we've collected some basic data on the alien weapons. And this is interception successful because you got this one shot down, and this one's over here is. And the weapon 0 of 1 means that it has. This is like the missile weapons, and this is the gun weapon. Then we get a crash site. Crash site UFO is likely to contain valuable alien technology and resources. Deploying combat team will pull it up. And it tells you what biome you're in, how much time you have left, and crash info. Time is important. Sometimes your crashed UFOs won't stick around, so you have to go get them relatively quickly. Sometimes that forces you to have to do a night engagement. And then you can click this to get into a tactical mission. This is where we have our guys. You can see them all listed over there. Launch dropships in the same way as you launch your interceptors. Dropships are already selected. Click the launch alien aircraft. And then the screen allows you to change soldiers and equipment aboard the dropship being launched. However, it's simply press the launch button this time around because we don't have time to do that. They don't really have a tutorial about how to equip your soldiers. And then hold the launch, Commander. We're picking up a friendly signal. The general is back. Fortuitous timing. I'm not so sure about that. There's a convoy of trucks heading our way. Those appear to be cleaner vehicles. It seems highly improbable the general would ever voluntarily join forces with them. Exactly. Commander, put your men on alert and deploy them into the entry tunnel. Something's definitely wrong here. And then we get our tactical. This is the tutorial they've had in the game since the beginning. They've upgraded it a little bit here and there, but otherwise it's pretty much the same thing. You will get a soldier killed in this tutorial because they don't allow you free will. They just tell you click here, click here, click here, just so you can know how all the things click. It's not very good decision making on the computer. Camera controls. Tactical combat controlled several ways. Move the mouse to the edge of the screen, scroll in that direction, or press the arrow WSAD key. So you push WSAD and you move around. Camera can also be able to use the Q and E. You can change the camera height level by using the mouse scroll wheel. Each unit in tactical combat uses time units to perform actions. These are refreshed each turn and are shared between all types of action. For example, a soldier that spends all their time units on movement would be unable to fire their weapons. Proceed. Number of time units the soldier has remaining is indicated by the green bar, right there. In this case, the soldier has 60 time units available. Welcome back back to Atlas, General. How did the meeting go? Can't help but notice you've made some new friends. The Xenonaut project has been terminated, Director. Lay down your weapons. There's no need for this to turn ugly. Earth is under attack, General. You know that. We're not going to surrender our planet without a fight. Director, you're making a mistake. There is no extraterrestrial threat. Open the blast doors and surrender, or your people are going to get killed. No extraterrestrial threat? What happened to you, General? Director, this isn't a discussion. I'm giving you 5 minutes to make a decision. You're outnumbered and there's nowhere to run. Think carefully about your choice. Over and out. If we surrender, what's the probability we turn up dead in a week from now? Based on everything we know about the cleaners? Approximately 100%. Yeah, that's what I figured too. Now seems a good time to evacuate to the backup facility. The backup facility? I wasn't aware we had one. Nor was the General. Commander, we need your men to hold the tunnels while we get everyone aboard the helicopter. Buy as much time as you can, but don't get yourself killed. Now the General's gone, we can't afford to lose you too. So we move our character to here. You click on this by left-clicking anywhere on the battlefield. So you click here, and that shows you how many movement points you're going to, time units you're going to use to get the soldier. Left-click the same tile again in order to finish, so you can like pre-look and see what's going on. See if that's the way you want them to run. You can rotate a soldier without moving them by right-clicking anywhere on the battlefield. So you can go here, and they'll be facing that way. Should order a soldier to crouch. This makes the soldier harder hit. Costs 4 time units to crouch, but it also costs 4 time units to uncrouch. Press the crouch button below. There you go. Not all our time units, it's time to press and turn. And they have a bunch of other people run in here and get into position for you to do the shooting part, which comes up next. 4, 5, 6, 7. Get 6 of them coming in. Attacking enemies. The green number on the left of the crosshair indicates the time unit cost of the shot. White number on the right of the crosshair indicates the percentage hit of the shot. Click the enemy in order to order your soldier to attack. So, score to hit, inflict to 20 damage. Weapons will inflict between 50 and 150% of their damage value with each hit, depending on the part of the body hit. Your soldier has enough time used to attack again, so fire a second shot at the same target. Click again. And we take him down. You have successfully killed an enemy. As your soldiers do not have enough time used for any actions, we will select the next soldier. Press space to mark your current soldier inactive and automatically select the next closest active soldier. Weapon range. Hover over the highlighted enemy. Squares drawn between the shooter and the target represent the shot path. The path is green where the weapon is within range, but the path turns orange when the weapon is firing beyond its maximum range. Weapons have a lower hit chance and inflict reduced damage when attacking beyond maximum range. Go ahead and attack it anyway, even though you don't have a good shot. Unfortunately, your soldier missed. Their shot. Press space to switch to the next active soldier. Armed with a shotgun, which is much more effective at close range. Move the soldier to the highlighted title. Run up here. Most weapons have several modes with varying accuracy and time unit cost. Most expensive fire mode is selected by default when targeting an enemy, as more expensive fire modes provide more accuracy per time unit spent. However, at this range, it would be preferable to fire 2 shots at lower accuracy due to the massive short-range hit chance bonus on this weapon. Hover over the target and use right-click to change the cheaper battle fire mode and then attack. So you go right-click, we're using the cheaper mode, and then we click to attack. And the shot had a high hit chance, your soldiers still missed. Bad luck with that will happen in this game, and part of the challenge is learning how best to mitigate it when it does occur. In this case, simply attack the target a second time. not have more luck. Press space to select the next active token. If you hover over this, shot has a low hit chance because it's a large intervening cover object in the shot path. Full details of how the hit chance is calculated is shown at the bottom of the right of the screen. In this case, the crates are reducing it by 60%. Only the highest intervening cover value is used to reduce hit chance, and any cover or crouched units adjacent to the shooter are always ignored. Most terrain in Xenonauts 2 is destructible, something that players can use to their advantage. Select the highlighted soldier by clicking on them. And this is an example of free fire. Target anything they want. In this case, when you use to destroy the intervening crates. Hold down the control to activate fire mode, and then click on the crate. So I hold down control, and I say, shoot that. And they destroyed it. Well done, the crates have been destroyed. Now click on this highlighted soldier. And now I have a 96% chance, so take the shot. There we go. Grenades can be effective at inflicting damage and removing cover in area. Click the button on the demolition charge to select it as the active weapon. And you want to throw it there. Travel in an arc, allowing them to be thrown over walls or cover objects. Click the highlighted tile to throw the grenade. So you go here. Soldier lacks sufficient time units to fire their main weapon, but the pistol in their secondary slot can still be fired. Click the pistol in the secondary slot to select it. And then click on the highlighted enemy to fire at them. Low time unit cost for firing the pistol allow your soldier to fire again. Click on the next. Press spacebar to select the next active soldier. Our final soldier has a decision to make. Their shotgun is relatively inaccurate at this range, and the target is behind heavy cover. Closing the distance and flanking the target might be beneficial. Using shot preview mode will allow you to make a decision about whether this would be worthwhile. Click the highlighted tile to plot a move path. So click here. Shot preview mode will show you the hit chance and time unit cost of taking a shot from the end of the current displacement. To see the values for your current position, hover over the highlighted enemy. Hold the shift key while still hovering over that target to activate shot preview mode. To proceed, click on the target while shot preview mode is active. So I'm supposed to. I'm supposed to go here. Then I hold down the shift key while I'm there. So it goes up to 95. It's 18 from here, but from where I want to move, it'll be 95. And click the target while in shot preview mode, and it should go up there and shoot. Eliminate all hostile units. Press the end turn, and more of them are going to come in. And this is where you lose a soldier because they make a poor decision. Helicopter is airborne! Yay! Should be able to escape through the tunnels. So we're going to have this soldier move to here, and this is going to get them shot. Soldier has just been killed by enemy Overwatch fire. If a unit ends its turn with enough time units remaining to fire its weapon, it may perform Overwatch fire during the enemy turn. Suppressing an enemy will prevent Overwatch fire, and flashbangs are a good way to generate suppression. Select the flashbang to throw it at the highlighted square. You go there. That takes them down. Suppress. Suppress immediately removes all time units from a selected unit, which prevents them from being able to Overwatch fire, as they can no longer afford to fire their weapons. Suppressed units also easier to hit with melee weapons, and will only recover 50% of their normal time units during the following turn. An alternative way to losing soldiers is to Overwatch fire is to make them harder to hit. Each tile of smoke reduces the hit chance of any shot passing through it. So smoke grenades are an excellent way of protecting your soldiers. Select the smoke grenade and throw it at the highlighted tile. All enemies are either out of time units, suppressed, or screened by smoke. Move your soldiers to the highlighted tile to complete the tutorials. You click here, and then it says you're done. Once you're clear of the base, I'll transmit the coordinates for the backup facility. And then we're done. Does a little animation there, and then you get a mission complete, and it goes out to load up the map for you. And that's the tutorial. So they've added the air combat tutorial, so you can get the feel of how that works when you're, instead of it being your first combat when you go in and go, how the heck do I do everything? They give you a chance to do that. If you believe our enemies exist, yet the malign tendrils of their influence can be felt across our planet. Rising tensions between capitalist and communist nations threaten to spark a ruinous nuclear war before the invasion even begins. Ah, Commander. Good of you to finally make an appearance. Welcome to our backup facility. We should be safe here, at least for a while. No getting around the fact that we're living in a derelict nuclear bunker full of 60s-era junk, though. Hope you're fine with cold showers, cold food, and, well, cold everything. Temperature's the least of our concerns. My work suggests we have mere months before the aliens can launch a full-scale invasion. If we are to prepare, we must gather data on the alien forces scouting our planet. Of course, the cleaners are unlikely to make that easy. That's why I called this meeting. Commander, I'm formally handing over control of this organization to you. The situation has changed, and we need someone with military experience making the big decisions. But I was never in the military. I'll run day-to-day matters, like keeping us supplied and getting this place patched up. All you need to do is figure out how to win the war. Congratulations on the promotion, Commander. One hopes you prove equal to the task. And then you get to place your first base. Now, one of the things you can go is, when you click on this, if you hover over this, it tells you how much the base would cost if you were going to do it. I don't think it costs us on our first base. But like Africa, and you notice it's different between each country. Like if you zoom in, it'll give you country borders, I think. But like down here's 1,250,000. But if I want to put it up here, it's 1.5 million. Because it's closer to Europe. My favorite place to put it is on Crete, and I'll show you why. If I go on Crete, look at where my radars, as I build them up, will cover much of Africa, part of Europe, part of Russia, part of Asia, Africa, and Europe. It covers 4 regions, or at least parts of 4 regions. It's one of the things you want to think about when you're placing your bases. If you go over here and just drop it in the U.S. someplace, at best you'll get the U.S. and a little bit of Latin America. That's 2 regions. So I always think that the first base should go somewhere either in Southern Europe or Northern Africa someplace. And my personal preference is just to put it on Crete, because I think it's hilarious. The Cretans are back. And then you get to name it. And I tend to go like this. And then say I'm done. And then they tell you about the doomsday counter. Prevent the doomsday counter from exceeding 100. The aliens are attempting to spark a nuclear war by raising tensions between capitalist and communist nations. If they succeed, the scattered human survivors would have no hope of repelling an invasion. We must keep the doomsday counter under control until the invasion begins. Allowing it to exceed 100 for more than 1 day will result in alien victory. Successful enemy activity on the geoscape will increase doomsday. Okay? So you go out here, and first thing you do is go into the base, and they still give us this crappy base layout. It's still one of my pet peeves that we should be allowed to make a proper decision on how to lay out a base, because this is not good base design in any shape or form. You know, your power should be protected and so on. But this is what you're given when you start. And I think we're going to stop here for this particular episode. Got you through the tutorial, and we'll go over some base correction builds and progress through the first part of the next month. I don't know if the next video will be long enough to go through the entire month, but we have an initial mission to go back to our original base to recover a bunch of stuff. We should get an abduction mission, which will give us some alien alloys to work with and maybe save some people. And we have to check on our soldiers and see how bad they are, and kit out our soldiers and put them in the ship. They have changed the ship now. It only brings in 8 people instead of 9. We used to get 9, I think, at some point. We get 8 now to start with. When you upgrade the ship, you can get it up to like 10 or 12, something like that. As you upgrade the ships, you can take more people. And all sorts of other wonderful things will go on here. We'll have to... He's going to do the cleaners is the only thing we have to research right now. These guys can't really build anything, so with them not doing anything for every hour in the game, they'll make $250 to go on top of this. You see, I started with 3.75 million, 3,750,000, and it does take the price of the base out. So if you want to start a place a little bit cheaper with less coverage, you can do that to be able to do more base stuff. It's all a matter of what you choose to do. This will list off our soldiers. We'll be going through the stats here next time. We don't have any items yet. And then here we can go through our soldiers and equip them out. Sometimes they don't have like the best people carrying this. Like this guy has a 59 strength, so he's probably pretty good with doing the assault, but he shoots very, very poorly. She does. And so on. And you can check out the other people. Like you'll see your assaults have usually relatively good strength. They don't need great accuracy because they're going to be using shotguns. So they're going to be in close anyway. And you get bonuses if you're in close. You can see you get plus 7.5% per tile that you're in closer than the 9 tile range. So you can, you're probably only going to be 2 or 3 tiles away when you fire. So it'll make up for your lousy accuracy. Whereas this assault person's at 44. Okay. Riflemen are a little better shots here. 67. It's a sniper. Alright, I'll probably be swapping the sniper and this rifleman because I want the highest accurate person to be the sniper so that when he hits, he hits. And then you also can check the other 4 characters out that you get. See if they're better than who you have. Okay. So that's something we'll do in the next one. And then this is your ships. Unfortunately, we don't have anything we can really put in here. Okay. We've got a little bit of heart. We've got a little bit for armor. But you only get weapon hard points here. There's 4. Takes 2 for your guns usually, and then it takes 1 like for missiles unless it's a big missile, and it takes 2. And there's a whole shenanigan thing that you'll deal with there. And then they give you the archive screen. They'll give you, this is a place like your journal where you can go to all the, find out all the things that you've got, what they're good at, the weaponry that you've got, the armor that you have, and so on. And that's what we'll have there. But when we come back, we will come back to the base building and getting through the first mission or 2. And that'll be the next episode. If you like what you're seeing, please hit the like button and leave me comments. Comments are good. Helps get it out in front of YouTube. I'm going to turn down the sound here. In fact, let's go do that right now. Where's the audio? I have game volume there. I'm going to turn the music down to like 50%. The other stuff can stay up there, but music volume's got to go down. We'll save this. Maybe. Yes, keep these changes. And then we're going to save the game. And it's day 1 after... I can't spell. After tutorial. Alright. Save that. Oh. And we will go back to our base. This is where we'll start next time. Like I said, please like, subscribe. Trying to get to 500 subscribers so I can add some more bells and whistles to my channel. So if you would subscribe, if you haven't subscribed already, I really appreciate it. You should be able to find the link to my Discord server called Dren608 Plays, where you can leave more detailed messages to me about the games that I'm playing, games you'd like to see me play, and hints on things that I might have missed if I'm playing like a game that you know better than me, and you can tell me all the stuff I'm doing wrong. And that way we don't spoil it on YouTube, but you can still tell me what I need to correct, and then I can make a YouTube video on correcting myself. Okay? Alright, I think that's it for this episode. And I'm Dren608. Until we meet again, stay safe, and bye-bye.